good morning, and great morning, guys. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Exit Strategies Radio Show. Hey, I am your host, Corwyn J, Melette, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. So, hey, if this is your first time listening to the show, you, sir, or ma'am, are in for a treat because our mission here is very simple. That is to empower our community through financial literacy and real estate education. So, guys, look, we're going to have a fabulous show today. I want to give a quick shout out to all you who tune in, listen to us faithfully. You guys rock, and you know how I feel. I love you because this is my baby, my give back to our community, how we serve, how we love on others. It is a God-given assignment. And guys, we have got to keep going. All of us owe service to everyone around us. That's what he called us to do. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing the message and the words. So today we have an amazing guest. All right. Look here. I love the company name. And when I got to know a little bit more, I'm like, okay, yeah, there we go. Because we all guys want to feel secure, right? All of us want to feel secure. So today I am so fortunate to have with us Sabrina Osso with Osso Safe, the CEO of Osso Safe. Sabrina, how are you doing today?
Very well. Thank you so much for that great introduction. You're so positive. I love it.
Well, thank you. I mean, it beats the alternative, right? So,
That's
Sabrina,
right.
if you don't mind, give our listeners like the 100,000 foot or 50,000 foot view of who you are and what it is that you do.
Sure. I am a TEDx speaker, real estate agent, and children's book author on creating and maintaining respect in homes, workplaces, and schools. So we focus on those three markets because when you're born, you go home. From there, you go to school. And from there, you go to your workplace. So we focus on those three markets, but in particular, the real estate industry, your home. And we do this through education and technology. We feel that the key ingredient in a safe, secure home is respect. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did. So, if you don't mind, Sabrina, kind of give a little bit of insight as to when you speak about safe and when you speak about that, what do you mean? Are you meaning physical safety? You mean how we creating safe spaces, both mentally, physically, spiritually, if you will? What are you referring to?
Excellent question. To clarify, whether you live in a townhouse, a co-op, a condo, a single-family home, a multifamily dwelling, a two-family home, a villa, a mansion, a mobile home, a senior community, a dormitory, when you put that key into that lock, you should feel safe. It should feel like your sanctuary and
Mm,
not a war zone. It
mm,
shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? Is dad going to beat up mom? Is mom going to beat up dad? Am I going to get beat up as the child? Is there going to be verbal, physical, sexual abuse, violence, abuse, chaos, dysfunction? So that's what we're talking about. It's great that you're a broker manager, a broker, and I'm a real estate agent. When we do real estate transactions, we make sure typically that the heat, hot water, electricity, central air, concierge, if it's a multifamily dwelling, everything is up to code. You have window guards. The floors are all even. That's great. But take it back even further, more basic, and that's safety. Do you feel safe? Do you feel that you're going to get attacked by someone in your family? Now, your home environment could be that you're living with mom, dad, stepmom, stepdad, an aunt, grandparents, your ex, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner. It doesn't matter. You should feel safe, respected, free, positive, encouraged, empowered. So that's what we mean. Because if that's not there, Corwin, everything else is secondary, essentially. Because if the heat is not working, you'll call the super, you'll call the property manager, or if you could fix it yourself, you hire a contractor, that'll get fixed. Same thing with the air conditioning, the hot water, not safe. That is what we do at Osso Safe to make respect a required standard in all homes. whatever home is for you. So I hope I answered the question.
You did. So what I noticed and what I and gleaned from what you were talking about, so since your company works with groups, whether it be parents, children, household, whether it be the school environment, schools, universities, etc., as well as workplace, and you guys go in and educate them on how to foster and create policies, if you will, or at home we probably wouldn't call it a policy. Well, a parent might mean, look, that's my policy, you better adhere to it. But you guys go in and create these rules, if you will, of engagement, and you get everyone to essentially agree to work together and create and foster a safe environment, whether it be at home, at school, again, or in the workplace. Does that sound about right?
Yes, to further explain, our core product is the Osso Safe Certification for properties. And we want this to propagate over all types of homes, as I mentioned earlier. But the path of least resistance right now is the landlord tenant portion of the industry, of the real estate industry. And we're basically saying to landlords, homeowners, if you will, hire us, we'll get your property Osso Safe certified. What does that mean? They purchase the Osso Safe Home Sweet Home package. This is our core product. The package consists of a policy, a seminar, an app, and therapists assigned to the property. So, just to give a brief definition of each of those components, the policy basically is like an addendum to existing leases, to existing mortgages, titles, if you will. And it basically states, I, as a landlord, I promise to provide you a safe space for you to live. You, in turn, as my tenant or my resident, you promise to not act in any way, shape, or form abusively. Otherwise, you, the abuser only, gets immediately evicted from the premises. And we go into full knowledge knowing that would be the consequences. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no surprise. The second component is the seminar, the Osso Safe Home Sweet Home seminar. Corwyn, everybody gets educated,
Mm-hmm.
adults and children alike, on facts, statistics, warning signs, definitions of abuse, the difference between abuse and discipline, what constitutes a good relationship, what are the warning signs of a bad relationship. So that way there's no mystery. A tenant, a resident can't say, oh, I didn't know that if I pull my partner to abuse. Now, and I want to say between the policy and the seminar, especially kids, the safety of children is at the core of what we do. We empower children in a very big way. We do not wait until they are 18 years of age for them to have a say in their lives. Because, quite frankly, when we wait until they are 18 years of age, it's too late. They will resort to self harm, cutting, drugs, alcohol, gang related activity. They will get involved with the wrong people, friendships, relationships, and ultimately commit suicide. We nip it in the bud. We are giving them voice and choice in an Osso Safe certified property with our book, which is behind me. And the title of the book is Home Safe Home for You and Me. And we basically say to kids and we educate them through the seminar, and it's even in the policy. When you're ready, speak up. If dad and mom are hurting you, both parents or both step parents, speak up. We are encouraging them to use their voice and exercise choice, where we realize that they can lie. They can say, yeah, I'm safe with mommy and daddy. But we know at Osso Safe that abusive parents, abusive step parents, they can only keep their poker face on, if you will, for so long. Then their abusive true colors come out.
Mm-hmm.
So we notate, and we educate the kids. When you're ready, speak out. And we teach them, it's part of the book. The Osso Safe Kids cheer, and it goes like this. I want to live where I am Osso Safe, and I am Osso Safe with an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a close family friend. We are planting the seed in their psyche, in their brains, to say, wait a minute, yeah, I'm not safe with mom and dad, stepmom, stepdad. I get attacked. They attack my bathing suit parts. I'm told that I'm a brat, a monster. I'm always put down. I feel safe with aunt, uncle, grandparent, close family friend. So
Mhm.
we're planting these seeds so that way we get them to that aunt, uncle, grandparent, close family friend. And this is part of the certification. So I went over the policy, the seminar. The third component is an app. I hired a software company according to my specs to detect violent like movements and captures them in real time, issuing alerts to the landlord and to the tenant, if you will. So let's say you have 10 units. Oh, I just got an alert. You just beat the crap out of her in my unit 2, and you just beat the crap out of him in my unit 10. Well, this is grounds for eviction. You knew that this was going to happen. You live in an Osso Safe certified property. You are held to a higher regard, a higher standard in an Osso Safe certified property. You got to go because I have to keep the rest of my tenants safe. So it mitigates liability. It maintains property reputation. That's the app. The fourth and final component is therapists assigned to the property. So in an Osso Safe certified property, you are required to check in with your therapist once a month. Is everything okay? Do you feel like anything is looming? Well, Mr. or Miss Therapist, actually, our kid came home with bad grades. We're not going to beat him up. We're not going to verbally disparage him, but we don't know how to handle this. Please help us. We know that we're held to a higher regard, a higher standard in an OSO Safe certified property. So help us through this. Everybody gets educated, the policy gets signed, and our logo gets placed outside of the property. So that way, any vehicle or pedestrian traffic, they know what that logo means. Like, wow, I would rather raise my kids in an OSO Safe certified property because they have the systems and mechanisms in place in case if and when violence occurs. So we are changing the face of residency, making respect a required standard in all homes. So that is our core product. And we are steering the real estate industry in this direction.
I love the concept because in my mind, I'm visualizing like property owners, like I'm envisioning it. That's so interesting. So let me ask you this question because, again, one of the things that's required is that they counsel or go through counseling as a therapist once a month. In that particular situation scenario, if they fail to do so, what would be the outcome of that?
Well, it's required. And we will say to them, look, this will help everyone. This will help your family. And no matter how many people are in the family, you could be a single person. It doesn't matter. So it is a requirement. Well, you sign the policy and we adhere. You're going to adhere to that because this makes for a better residency. It's better for business. It is better for everyone all around, and we require it once a month. It's not like we pester them every single day. Did you call? Did you text? Did you email? And we have the therapists that are also safe certified to report back to us and say, look, just to give an example, there's 10 units. Okay, units 1 through 5, they are adhering to this, but unit 6 is falling behind. Unit 7, 8, 9, 10, they're pretty consistent. So we just go in and explain further the benefits of it. And it's part of your rent. It's part of your rental. There isn't an extra cost to it. It's just part of your rental in living in an also safe certified property. So it's repetition. And we realize this is fairly new. So people have to get used to making respect a required standard. And if you're already doing this, well, this just reinforces what you're already doing. But if you're coming from, well, it's no one's business what I do in my home, that's not acceptable anymore. It is our business because society, neighborhoods, and communities suffer when just one episode of abuse occurs. Bad news travels fast. Then you're like, oh, wow, I heard that he beat her up or she beat him up. The kids were screaming. Now I know why those kids look so down. It just makes everybody uncomfortable, awkward. So with our certifications, we're making respect a required standard, and it's a practice. So we will all be better off for it. I hope I answered the question.
You did. So I love that because I say this thing, Sabrina, often that I do my best with it to create a safe space, place where people can be heard. And I'm very watchful. Prayerfully, nothing will happen. But essentially, what you're doing is working to create certified, if you will, safe spaces in residences and homes and in homes, residences, schools, and workplaces. I love it. I love that concept. And I love where the vision is. If you don't mind me asking, what was a catalyst for you in doing this? What put you on this trajectory to say, look, this is what we need to do?
Yes, I've been in and out of therapy for quite some time, and I'm comfortable enough to say that I am a survivor of violence. My father beat my mother on a regular basis, and my mother would beat me. So I know firsthand how difficult it is to live in that type of environment. Basically, your life is stolen, and you're constantly in a war zone. What's going to happen? You're constantly in urgency alarm mode, and it's no way to live. No way to live. So I moved out eventually at 21. It took a lot of work, and I spent my adult years healing from my childhood, basically. And I'm a dancer, but I couldn't even think about dancing. I couldn't even say the word in my house because it was very, you do as we say. You're not going to do what you want to do. So I
Mhm.
had to put it on the back burner. It wasn't until I moved out that I allowed myself the freedom to dance. So I was taking classes. I lived close proximity to the city. I was so free, and dancing is in my DNA. So I started writing a one woman show that I wrote, choreographed, and performed. And in this show, it's called Home Sweet Home question mark. And I
Mhm.
really want to revive this one day. And it's a one woman show where I play different women being abused. She goes to her good place. That's where the dancing comes in. But then she's pulled back into the terror of violence. And the show ends really strong, really empowering. But I did a lot of research for the show. And Corwyn, I could not believe the statistics that I was finding. So I said to myself, I need to make this into a business, a bona fide business with products and services that could really help people. We're not a charity, we're not a nonprofit. We respect the charities and nonprofits that deal with domestic violence, but we don't even like to call it domestic violence because it has such a stigma that it is a woman's problem, and
Mhm.
clearly it is not. And then,
Mhm.
secondly, it assumes that all of the victims are female, and
Mhm.
that's not true either. So we prefer to say home violence. It's more inclusive. So Osso Safe was born out of this one woman show and my pain turning pain into power. Yeah, so that was the catalyst. That was the motivation.
Okay. And thank you for sharing your story, Sabrina. I mean, that's usually vehicles of change are built based upon what our experiences are and have been. People come from all walks of life and find success in different things. But typically, someone who goes to the extent level, they have a personal experience that is a catalyst that motivates them and keeps them encouraged because they want to and truly want to help people. So kudos to you and thank you so much for sharing that story. If you don't mind, how can people reach out, get in contact, get more information, get connected with you? Where can people reach you at?
The website is ossosafe.com. We are on all the major social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and two platforms that we dedicate specifically to children of all ages from zero, I like to say, to through 18, high school. And that's on the TikTok and YouTube. Those two platforms are specifically for kids where we empower them and we speak about abuse. We speak about what constitutes a good relationship. If you are dating, what are the warning signs? Don't repeat the same mistakes as mommy and daddy. We understand your pain and suffering. We're working as fast as we can. You're not crazy that if mom and dad or stepmom and stepdad are putting you down, it's not your fault. and we're going to get you to safety. So I just wanted to mention that specifically with TikTok and YouTube. And our book is on Amazon.com and also a lot of other book websites that I love to see. I didn't even know that they existed. So it's so great to see my book on those sites. But thank you for echoing what we're doing and giving such positive feedback. We greatly appreciate it.
Well, you're more than welcome. And I thank you for quote unquote picking up the mantle and leading the charge in this space. Because I've never, to be frank, I've never conceptualized it such as you have to look, let's define it. And once we define it, then we can create it. So we need a safe space. So let's create safe spaces by certifying them. I love the concept by educating and training people within those arenas in order for them to actually have a certified or exist in a certified safe space. It's an amazing I love it. It's an amazing concept. So Sabrina, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for being a part of the Exit Strategy Radio Show family. For our listeners, guys, y'all need to make sure you reach out if you have any questions, maybe just in full, hey, look, this is what we need to do. Like listeners, really, if you know someone who is not in a safe space, please do something. Don't just sit there, watch, and talk about it. Do something. Help them. Get them help. Direct them to help. Tell somebody who can help them, which is to notify someone that they're in need of help. We should not live in an environment, in a space where these things continue to happen. We're too evolved as a people. We've been through too much as a people for us to continue to remain in this place. So Sabrina, again, thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thank you, Corwyn. This was a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So for our listeners, guys, y'all know what it is. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know what I say. Y'all know I always put the two of those things together. And I say it to you this way, which is to tell you that I love you. I love you. I love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in those streets.